Welcome to Snipisode 12 of the Daily Dose of DMC podcast. Today is Tuesday, January 17th, 2023, and I'm your host, HK. Good morning, all you lovely people, and welcome back. Another day and another dose, another daily dose of the DMC. I'm excited that you guys are here. It's Snipisode 12. Today, I want to talk about being in the present. So important. All these things, all these topics are important, but being in the present, something we all got to learn over and over again. If you guys listen in to Snipisode 9 about mindfulness, this is a core aspect of what mindfulness is all about. And like I told you guys a couple of Snipisodes back, to me, when I go into operations, I don't like to go think outside the box or think in the box. What I like to do is just look at the box from different angles. And that's what we got to do with our minds. That's what we got to do with life in general. Just to be able to focus on the positive things, on the positive aspects of every situation. It's really that simple, because if we can condition our minds from various angles to look at the positive things, then we're going to be a lot more happier. We're going to be a lot more fulfilled. Trust me. And that's why today I want to cover the topic of being in the present. Being in the present is nothing more than what I've mentioned already, is just focusing on the current moment. You're not dwelling on the past, you're not dwelling or worrying about the future. You're just fully engaged and aware of what's happening around you in every situation. Being present is so important because it helps you be more mindful. That's what mindfulness is all about. Again, that core aspect of mindfulness. But overall, again, it reduces stress, it improves relationships. You'll just have overall a satisfaction with life when you're able to learn to be in the present. I've gone through a lot of things. Yeah, I think we all do. All of us have stories. When we go through life, we chew through a lot of things, a lot of scenarios, a lot of experiences. And it's so important to come out of all those learning, growing, and turning them into positive moments down the road, but without worry. So being in the present just helps you be more mindful. You're more aware of your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. And I believe that, especially today, what we talked about yesterday, how society is conditioning us more and more and more to be focused on wealth, on power, on fame, rather than coming back to foundational aspects of humanity. And I really believe that if we were all a little bit more mindful, a little bit more in the present, especially men in society, we're being taught like, this is what success is, and if this is not what you have, then you're definitely not successful. But I truly believe that if you can learn to be in the present, break free from society's aspect of what success is, and be more present, you're going to have a greater sense of inner peace and well-being generally. Talking from experience here. Yeah, it definitely has positive effects. Like all these things, they overlap, from managing stress and improved sleep to boosting the immune system, having better relationships with others, communicating more effectively. Being present, allows you to increase productivity. You're able to focus and accomplish tasks more efficiently in school, at work, if you're in the moment. Think about that. I want to jump into the next section that I got in my notes, and that's logically the barriers. We talk a lot about the barriers, and then we move into techniques that I work on, that may help you in this regards to be more in the present. But the problem is, especially about being in the present, is the fact that we constantly, and this is such a big one. The first two are so big, and it leads into the second 2 points that I've got written down, is that distractions and constant stimulation, social media, technology, it just pulls our attention away from being in the present all the time. This fast-paced nature of modern society, what we've made it to be with, like I said, social media, smartphones, the internet, it makes it really difficult to focus and be present in the moment because it pulls our attention away from what's happening around us. And that is such a big problem. That's barrier number one. Barrier number two is also the fact that through social media, especially because news and information is out there en masse, that we produce these negative thoughts and feelings, and it causes anxiety and depression for so many of us that it makes it difficult to be in the present. People are looking at Instagram. Yeah, you're scrolling through an Instagram profile, and this is, those Instagram influencers that are all taking their beautiful photos here and there, and they're telling us, oh, why aren't you traveling? Why aren't you this beautiful? But it's all just show. If we go and dig those layers, that onion, we pull that apart, it's all just what society is trying to portray and convince us of what life should be. And that is what we need to break free from. Because those anxieties, those worries, those regrets about the past, or fears and concerns about the future, those are all things that distract us from the present, and they make it hard to fully engage with the current moment. So true. That leads into self-awareness, that lack of self-awareness. Yeah, you're not aware, like I talked about previously. You're not being fully aware of your thoughts and feelings. This also keeps you from being in the present. That you are not aware about being in the present because your thoughts are consistently in the past, or you're planning and consistently being in the future. And I mentioned in a previous Snipisode, planning for the future is not bad. It's important to a certain aspect. How much? That's another question. And also, the past reflection is so important. Reflecting on your past experiences is also very important. And the last point, when it comes to these barriers about being in the present, it's about being too busy and this constant scheduling, and it's just basically hard to slow down because the internet is always there. The internet is always online 24/7, 365, and it doesn't allow us to be in the present. We have that tendency to constantly focus on what needs to be done next. We're too busy at work. We're overscheduling. How many of you, this is the one thing that I got so annoyed with in the corporate environment. And when I got into management positions, what I did is I changed this, at least for those that I could influence. The fact that when meetings are scheduled, they're always scheduled to the full hour. It makes absolutely no sense. Just think about it. Of course, you want to utilize as much time as possible, but meetings cost money, and the more people that are in a meeting, the higher that exponential value of what that cost is significantly rises. Why? I don't get why in the corporate world people don't book for those 45 minutes or the 50 minutes. Yeah, you got to leave some time, those 5 minutes, those 10 minutes for people to go back to their desks, for people to kind of disconnect, to have a chat afterwards or whatnot. That's just part of who is, and there's no efficiency in that. Just think about that. Yeah, but being too busy and just being overscheduled just doesn't allow us to be present in this moment. This kind of like busyness and overscheduling just really make it hard to slow down and be present. So moving into the next section, the techniques, things that I do. 4 points I want to quickly discuss with you guys around being in the present. I know we talked about listening to this Snipisode on mindfulness. I also talk about a couple strategies there. But here, number 1 is mindfulness and meditation. Do deep breathing, do yoga. I've done a lot of yoga with my wife. It was my wife that introduced me to yoga. And there was a phase in my life where we did a lot of yoga. And actually, I want to kind of get back into that. That's one of my goals as well, moving down the road. But mindfulness, those meditational practices, they'll help you focus to be in the present moment to reduce distractions. 2 is spending time in nature. Go for a hike, go for a walk in the park, whatever it is. Get more connected by just being outside in nature, away from the concrete jungle and whatnot. It helps reduce stress. I love that. We do that so often with our kids. Our kids love it. But being outside in nature helps you reduce stress and helps you just to get connected back to, from even in a spiritual sense, to earth. And that gives your mind that ability to focus on the present. Number 3, journaling and self-reflection. Like I said, worrying about the future or reflecting on the past to a certain extent is okay. But if you journal and do that self-reflection, it'll help you become more aware of your thoughts, your feelings, and it'll make it a lot easier to be present in the moment because you're chewing through emotions and everything you got built up, and you're putting that down visually, and you're seeing that. That's what makes it so sweet. And ultimately, I saved this for number 4 because I find it so important. Like you heard me out, is disconnect from technology. Turn off your freaking phone. Limit your social media use. That is our biggest distraction today. For just about any generation that is alive today, old and young, the constant notifications on our phones, that treating, that I mentioned in this Snipisode, a friend was telling me, and I found this so interesting, that we treat our phones like children, like babies. We plug them in, we charge them, we make sure everything's okay, the screen's not broken, we're reachable all the time. But disconnect from technology will help you be more present. Learn to do that. I do that. And I do that a lot. There's times where I turn off all the notification capabilities of my phone. There's times where I say I don't even touch my phone, or I leave it at home when we go outside or we're on the road or something. I make that conscious decisions just to be able to disconnect from everything. So that is what I just wanted to talk to you guys about today, this morning, about being in the present. How it benefits our daily lives, it reduces stress, improves our relationships, that increase productivity. Think about that scheduling meeting for all those in the corporate environment or work environment. Like I said, it can be difficult to be present due to all those distractions, due to those negative thoughts, those feelings, that busyness, that lack of self-awareness. But use the techniques I mentioned. Try those 4 techniques. Listen to Snipisode 9 about mindfulness and meditation. Spend time in nature, journal, self-reflect, disconnect from technology for goodness sake. Learn to be more present, improve your overall well-being. Because the secret of a happy and successful... Yeah, we talked about success in Snipisode 11 yesterday, about breaking free from society's conditioning, about wealth, fame, and power. But the secret of a happy, successful life is to do what needs to be done now and not worry about the past or future. So keep in mind, we can't reshape the past. We can't anticipate everything about the future. There's only one moment in our lives that we have some conscious control of, and that is the present. We can only control that one thing, and that is our current thought. I've said that to you guys. That's the only thing I believe nature's instilled in us that we can consciously control. And that one moment of time of which we have that some conscious control in connection to that is the present. Don't just worry for the sake of worrying about the past or the future. Learn to adjust to any kind of circumstances. So whatever you have in your mind, whatever castles you're building in the air, whatever dreams you have, remember we live in a world of constant friction and constant change. Be in the present, embody and be good. Just, be right in the sense of compassion and kindness. Develop awareness, engage in activities that bring you joy, connect with others deeply. That is so important to me, connecting with others deeply. And take care of yourself. Another important thing, because we need to learn to take back our lives from social media, from all these distractions, and be more present in our daily lives. That is today's Snipisode 12, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Share this, subscribe wherever you're listening to, whatever you're doing, however you're listening to this. Give me some feedback. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Live fulfilled every single day. Guys, that being said, stay dedicated, motivated, committed, all day, every day.